Hi, everybody. Great to see so many of you on the line today. I wish everyone a good Erev Shabbos. Really exciting. And especially want to welcome our Chatan and Kallah. Mazal Tov to Mishpachat Bern, Mishpachat Amrami. And we greet Chili and Eliana. And they're way into their first Shabbat together as Chatan and Kallah. We send Mazal Tov wishes to the extended family on both sides. Obviously to Mishpachat Amrami, grandparents who hopefully are joining us online if they're able to, Yusuf and Mary Amrami, and down in Florida, Lois and Barry Levanton, and also in Florida, our beloved members, Art and Gilda Byrne. We wish you Mazel Tov. We send love and regards to Donna Pagonitz, our beloved member, and Mazel Tov to the parents and siblings. Of course, Ben and Jen are pillars in their community in KCT, and we're so honored to wish Mazel Tov at this juncture to Phil and Renee, pillars in our community on so many levels. And Chili and Eliana, I want to share some Divrei Torah for Parshat Vayikra with everyone, but I hope there'll be a message in it for you too, a bracha for you as you go into your first Shabbat together as Chatan and Kallah. Kallah Yisrael opens a new book tomorrow. We are opening a new book. It's the heart of the Torah. Parshat Vayikra signals the onset of Sefer Vayikra. And we're really getting into the heart. It's the middle book. 2 books before, 2 books after. It's in the middle. Hashem didn't put it there by accident. It is a book about Avodat Hashem, about serving Hashem. In order to serve Hashem, we need a structure in which to serve Hashem. And for that we have, if not our Mikdash Me'at, if not the Mishkan or the Beit HaMikdash in Yerushalayim yet again. So we have to have that in our Mikdashei Ma'at of our own homes. And you're building now your Bayit Ne'eman B'Yisrael, and this is your first Shabbat together. So I thought, since it will be challenging to get together for actual Shabbat brachot, first of all, to tell you and everyone who's on this call, to remind everyone that you're going to have Shabbat brachot, that Klal Yisrael, all the Jewish people in the world will be giving Hashem these brachot, that are the Sheva brachot, not as an accident, that it's the exact same number of brachot, Sheva brachot, as against the 7 days of the week under the chuppah, and for Chatan and Kallah, the 7 brachot, and each time we recite the Amida over Shabbat. Tonight and tomorrow morning for Shachrit and Musaf, and then at Mincha, each time, it's going to be the Sheva brachot. The Sheva brachot of Shabbat should be Sheva brachot for you each time. And even if it's not possible really to have a Shabbat brachot in the classical sense, I hope you're going to be able to feel that Kallah Yisrael is davening. What a beautiful zchut we had as a community. And I believe a zchut for Kallah Yisrael, that there was such a beautiful, elegant, simple, direct, sincere, authentic wedding that transpired in our town. Granted, in numbers, it was very, very small. It was actually, I was trying to stifle a laugh when I called up my dear colleagues, Rabbi Shanan Gelman and Rabbi Nathaniel Isaacs of Kilat Chovei Tzion, to serve as Edim under the Chuppah, and actually they represented 100% of the audience, literally. There was no one left sitting in the pews and the chairs that were all divided with 6 feet in between them. But to see the beaming smiles in your family's faces made me think a little bit about what we're up to. Even though we have many challenges that we face as a community, as a nation, indeed, as humanity, what a beautiful symbol of hope that the 2 of you gave to so many of us, those who were able to watch it on Facebook Live. I think it was streamed on YouTube as well. What a zchut you gave all of us. I want to share with you something that's in Parshat Vayikra that I hope will have resonance for everyone, but also especially for you, dear Chatan and Kallah. Rabbi Moshe Wolfson quotes in his Sefer Emunat Itecha from a Sefer known as the Igra de Kallah by the Bnei Yissaschar, who in turn quotes from the Chozer Milublin, which means this is a tradition from the Olam of Hasidut that dates back many, many hundreds of years. We know that at the time period that we're in right now of Nisan, these first days, today is the 2nd of Nisan, tomorrow the 3rd of Nisan, the first days of Nisan are really as against the 12 days of gifts that were brought by each of the Nesiim, the princes of each of the tribes. Every day had another prince who brought another gift. The first day was the tribe of Yehuda, Nachshon ben Aminadav. The second day was the tribe of Yisachar. Then came Zevulun. Every day another tribe for the first 12 days. And therefore, these days that we're in now are the 12 days of the Nesiim, of the princes. Explain the Chozim Lublin. Every day of these 12 days of Nisan, since we believe that Nisan is the onset of the beginning of the year, it's the start, the renewal. HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem Rosh Chodashim. It's the first of all of the cycle of months. Then each of the 12 days, the first 12 days of Chodesh Nisan, as against each of the 12 Nesiim, each one represents one of the months of the year ahead. We're charting a course for each of the months that are going to happen. So Rosh Chodesh was the day of Rosh Chodesh Nisan. It was the day of Chodesh Nisan. Today represents the day of what we call Chodesh Iyar, the second month. Tomorrow, your Shabbat Sheva Brachot will be the third, which is as against Sivan. Sivan, the month of the giving of the Torah. Sivan, the month that is called by Chazal, the reference of the giving of the Torah, as a time of a wedding. B'yom chatunato ze matan Torah. The day of the giving of the Torah, Chazal say, Masechet Ta'anit, that was like a day of a wedding. That will be your Shabbat. And I hope and pray that as you journey through Shabbat, you'll think a little bit that we're now setting out, charting a course for ourselves and for the world for the year ahead. Every Jew should feel that way. In the Torah reading of tomorrow, we have a very strange pasuk, among many pasukim that are very hard to parse and understand. It begins with the words, Asher Nasi Yechta, when a prince will sin. And not if, but when. It's a strange language. Some of the commentators explain because of necessity, leaders make mistakes. They have to still lead, but they should realize they're going to stumble and fall. There are going to be missteps. But the rest of that section of the Torah is about how the Nasi, the leader, can fix things, can go back and make redress, can bring korbanot to do tshuva, to go back. The possibility of what you could call like a delete button on life itself exists as far as the Torah is concerned. Rashi has a very beautiful explanation, goes in a bit of a different direction. He reads the word based on Chazal, the Torah Kohanim, the word asher, not as when, but as the smaller version of the word ashrei. Lashon ashrei, it's the language of good fortune, fortunate. Ashrei hador she'anasi shelo noten lev lahavi kapara al shigigato kal v'chomer shel mitcharet al zdonotav. Fortunate is the generation that has a nasi, that is willing to give heart to try to make atonement for errors, and all the more so who regrets deliberate commissions of sin. Says Rabbi Moshe Wolfson, do you hear the words of Rashi? Asher Nasi Yechta. It turns out, as we Jews believe, based on a very early sefer that our tradition teaches us was written by Avraham Avinu, called the Sefer Yetzirah, that everything we think about in the world, every concept, we can divide and delineate into three separate groups. Olam, Shana, Nefesh. Olam, space, the world. Shana, time, the time dimension. Nefesh, the soul, the spirit. Asher Nasi Yechta is actually about an individual, a human being. But says Rabbi Wolfson, we could apply this also, not just in the realm of person, but what about applying it in the realm of time? We could say that Nisan is the Nasi of the rest of the year. And if Nisan is the Nasi, the first prince, then the month of Nisan is an opportunity for us to think a little bit. It's not Rosh Hashanah, but it is Rosh HaChodashim. That this time period, and particularly the first 12 days, is charting a course of thinking about the year past and thinking about the year ahead. What were those different Nesiim doing each of the first 12 days of Nisan when they initially inaugurated the Mishkan? That story told in Parshat Vayikra. What were they doing? They were fixing something. They were fixing the sin of destruction. The sin of destruction that hadn't actually even happened yet, but perhaps they had some inkling would be. The sin of the destruction of the very house that was the link between Kallah and Hashem. Why did it happen? The hatred between people. Sinat chinam. How do we fix it? We fix it, I think, by making weddings. We fix it by ava and achva and shalom and re'ut, love and fraternity and peace and friendship. And therefore, in this period of time now, as you're journeying into your Shabbat Sheva Brachot, whose essence is Shalom, I want to give you the bracha that on Shabbat you should find Shalom, that all our homes in our community and communities like it, and frankly, all the homes of all the good people of the world should find over Shabbat a little bit of peace. Not just peace internal, that's first, but peace with each other. To be able to seek out the peace, to sue for Shalom Bayit, and to recognize that now we're in a period of the Nesiim. Isn't it funny that when you stood under your chuppah, we were engaged in a process called Nisuin? Because when you were under your chuppah, you were being joined together in order to be charting out a course for the rest of your lives together. Not exactly the way any of us imagined it, that's for sure. But what love was exuded there. What a commitment to each other that you made. Surrounded, such as you were, by just the very, very few family members who could be there. We were fewer than 20 people standing there, and some of us at quite a distance. Where Wolfson points out that it's not an accident that right before Rosh Chodesh Nisan, so many years like our year, two parshas get together. Last week was Vayikra Pekude, it's a combined. During Sfirat HaOmer, suddenly we reach Tazria, Mitzora, they're joined. Achrimot Kedoshim, many years, they're joined. Behar Chukotai, they're joined. Why? Because we're remembering that as we're coming to these points in the calendar, we have to stay together. You have to find a way to connect better. The 3 weeks that drive off and coming to a sad time of Tisha B'Av, well, some years, rare, but sometimes we have Chukat Balak, and many years we have Matot Maseh. Why are the Parshiot getting together? Because Kallah Yisrael is getting together. We're being given these subtle cues that even though times may be tough, or even though new times may be coming, we need to find a way to build more Ava and Achva and Shalom and Reut. I want to bless you, dear Chatan and Kallah, that the two of you in your Yemei Nisuin, your time of being Nesiim, should find that Osher with an Aleph, meaning the happiness and the good fortune. Ashrei Hador shehanasi shlo noten lev, lahavi kapara al shigigato, kavachom shmitcharet al zonotav. It also means fortunate is the generation that is stopping right now. Shabbat, Parshat, Vayikra, Tafshin Pei, each one in their own house, and saying, what can I do to repair the great sin that has brought destruction to the world? I can reply to Sinat Chinam, baseless hatred, by finding ways to connect better to other human beings. That's the road back. And I know that for the rest of my life, I will always cherish this unbelievable opportunity that you, Eliana and Chili, gave me to be able to be involved in your chuppah months and months and months ago, and through these many months, but even just the way it culminated, which of course, again, not the way we expected it. Soon there will be a time you will have a great celebration. It may not be exactly at this moment gathered physically with all of us, but you should know that homes and hearts around our community were raised up because of you. Like the Sifri writes about Shabbos, Uviyom Simchatchem, Zeh Shabbat Kodesh. And I hope that each of us will take some chizuk in seeing that even with all our challenges, life goes on. Not just in a sad way, but in a very happy way. Yehi Ratzon Shetizku Livnot Bayit Ne'eman BiYisrael, filled with children who grow up in the path of Torah and mitzvot, should bring great nachat to your parents, to your grandparents, to all of your forebears who are connecting through Zoom from Shamayim, if you will, who no doubt shep great nachas and shep great nachas still of what you mean to us, to me personally, and I think to our community, broadly speaking, to Kallah Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom to you and to all of our community. I hope everyone will join us on Motzei Shabbat for Havdalah together, just 10, 15 minutes to sing a little bit, to make Havdalah together at 8:25 p.m. I'll be thinking of everyone in the shul. I miss everyone very, very much, even though I'm seeing so many people. It's wonderful on the screens. I'm trying to call as many people as I can, but we all miss each other. Let's try to think a little cheshbon hanefesh. How could we say, Ashrei Hador, how fortunate are we as a generation that we can think now we could correct that great fissure and help to bring in, to usher in Mashiach Tzidkenu, so that by the time we get to Pesach, we'll be able to dance with you, Eliana and Chili, together, B'tupim Uvim Cholot, in Yerushalayim, Yer HaKodesh, as we welcome together Mashiach Tzidkenu. Shabbat Shalom and Mazal Tov.